Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine on this lovely Saturday afternoon, guys. It is match day, or is it match day? Or is it not match day? It is actually very, very late at night. Man United will play West Ham United, and apparently Mbeumo and Cunha could likely start the game against West Ham United. Hopefully, it's a better performance than we had. You know what? Against Leeds United, because it was a very underwhelming, lackluster performance for Manchester United. Let me just get my mic closer to my face. If I can get my mic closer to my face, I don't want anyone hearing any echoes, distant in the echoes, of course, guys. But thank you so much for joining me today. Absolute legends, guys. Let me get straight into it. Of course, I'm going to carry on with the conversation in regards to Ruben Amorim and the quotes in the press conference yesterday. And I find it astonishing, having read through social media over the course of the last few hours and seeing people say, if we are going to suffer next season, Ruben Amorim should walk. Ruben Amorim should walk if he thinks suffering was last season, not this season. Listen, at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim basically said, if they translate it properly, we are going to suffer if we do not unite as a football team. That's what we're going to suffer. We're going to suffer because of that. We don't unite as a football team. If the players don't get on the same page, we're going to suffer. Unfortunately, there's people within the fan base. Well, that is very questionable whether they are fans or not. But there's people within the fan base that will twist things to fit a narrative. Do you know what I mean? They want to fit a narrative. They want to add weight until their dead opinion. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, because their opinion holds no ground. It's ridiculous. It's immature. It's crazy. It's childish. It lacks ball knowledge. You name it. It's just absolutely pathetic in my humblest of opinions, guys. I think that, look, first, listen, he's had one press conference. The first press conference, his first press conference, and they've already got the knives out on him. They've already got the knives out. They're already ready digging the grave. Forgetting about Ineos, forgetting about the Glazers already. And this is precisely what I was saying earlier on for many, many weeks now. Watch what's going to happen. You know, as soon as the season starts, people are going to forget the context. People are going to forget what the Glazers and Ineos did by not backing Ruben Amorim. Now, putting him into a corner, throwing him in with the Sharks. It's crazy at the end of the day. They're so bloody spoiled, self-righteous prats out there in our fan base. Honestly, I mean, there's sections of this fan base that are just absolutely, I don't want to say I'm going to incriminate myself in regards to swearing or anything like that, but it's just so unbelievably useless football opinion. And it doesn't help Manchester United. It doesn't help Manchester United. And we have to understand that these people don't want what's best for Man United. They don't. What they want is basically their opinion being right. I'm right about Ruben Amorim. I told you so. I told you so. That is what they're more interested in. They're not interested in Man United being successful. They're not interested in that. Whatever Ruben Amorim says, they're going to twist it anyway. If Ruben Amorim came out and said, listen, next season, we're going to win the league. We're going to go to qualify for the Champions League. We're going to win a couple of trophies next season. People are looking at Ruben Amorim and be saying, has he gone mad? Is he crazy? He's delusional. He's not realistic. People be saying that. When he turned around and said, this is the worst Man United team in history, what did people do? What did they do? They jumped down his throat. Now, when he starts saying, you know what, we're going to suffer, you know, people are jumping down his throat. He's caught in a place between a stone and a hard place. And that is what it is at the end of the day. He can't win with this media and a section of these fans. I would quotation marks, fans. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Soon as he said suffered, you could see it straight away. The masses, the clowns come out to play and they're like, suffered. There's the headline there. We don't want to suffer again. Blah, blah, blah. Don't want to suffer again. The only thing suffering, brother, is your cholesterol, bruv. So just be quiet, mate. At the end of the day, that is the only thing suffering. So you need to basically just sit down, be quiet, and just bloody support your manager. And understand that the context in this game. Understand context. Understand what's going on at the football club. Understand the culture at this football club. That's what's important. At the end of the day. Big up everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is blessed, of course. Good to see everyone in the house, of course, guys. Big up Stephanie. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Big up Sound Chatterbox. Big up Steph. Hope you're good. Kirina, good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. How you doing? Long time. Good to see you back. Hope you're well. Good to see you again. Excited for Mbeumo in the midfield is still concerning. Yep, absolutely. Big up Kenny. Good morning, Sal. Why they need people to build a stadium? Why do they need to... Exactly, Natty. Look, I want to talk about this stadium, right? This is by a hedge fund, isn't it? the stadium or something like that. They're going to get other people to build this stadium for them. So do these people need to be paid back? So what is going to happen with that stadium? Is it going to be another debt at Manchester United? Is Man United going to have to pay that stadium back? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Man United do not need a bloody stadium right now. Right now, we do not need a stadium. No stadium. Regeneration project, cancel it. We don't need it right now. What Man United need before anything else is a good football team. That's what we want. We don't care about this vanity project. Jim Ratcliffe's face in bright lights in the Jim Ratcliffe Stadium, the Ineos Hotel just outside the stadium, hotel football with Gary Neville and all that. It's an absolute farce at the end of the day. It's a mockery of what is going on right now. It's a mockery of those people, those good people who lost their jobs on average wage last season. Absolutely. Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Just bust 8 hours to the preseason. Just 8 hours. Goodness me, I was going to think, Ellen, what's going on there? And no, the preseason started against Leeds United a couple of days ago, Ellen. Man United played Leeds United just a few days ago. One of the most boring games, of course. Big up, everyone, of course. Big up, everyone. Knowing me, knowing you. Aha, as Cougar once said. Amorim isn't walking anywhere. He will bring us back to the ground. Ellen, I hope so, mate. I really hope so, because at the end of the day, he needs to shut a lot of people up. I would love him to shut a lot of people up. Shut them up. And how's he going to do that? By winning trophies. How can he win trophies? By being supported by these incompetent owners. That's what it is. When we got that Mbumo deal through the door, we were all happy. We were all happy. It's done. It's started. Now let's go on. Now let's get the next signing. The momentum was there. That was their chance. That was their chance to go on and sign another player and sign another player. It's just gone dead now, hasn't it? It's gone dead again. We're going to wait another 50 days until the next signing comes in at the end of the day. When you're looking at Liverpool, and by the way, Liverpool lost 4-2 to Milan today. That's what I'm talking about. That is where absolutes come into football, isn't it? That's when nothing is guaranteed in football. I know it's only a friendly, but there you go. If Man United lost 4-2 to AC Milan, people will be throwing the knives at Man United right now. But look, listen, Liverpool got smashed up by AC Milan, by the way, just to let you guys know, of course. But they'll get let off because they're the champions and all that. But at the end of the day, what I would say is that, I hope Ruben Amorim is successful at this football club. But when we're looking at Man United next season, have Man United gained ground? Have they got better than other teams? Have they caught up some space in regards to Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle even? Have they caught up a little bit, even an inch? And the answer is no. I mean, at the end of the day, if Man United had Mbumo and Cunha, right, and that was it, and no other team signed any players, Man United would have went like literally a tiny bit. Now, as I've always said, football's not dealt with absolutes and football doesn't guarantee anything. But what I would say, right, is that it only takes a spark for something to happen. And I absolutely agree with that. It only takes a spark for something to occur in regards to the players, in regards to, one player could come in and completely change the dimension of Man United. For example, when Robin Van Persie walked into Man United, he basically won us the league, didn't he? One person could come in and take you over the line. Eric Cantona came in and took us over the line. That could happen. The difference is this. The difference is that Manchester United are full of a squad of bottlers. And I will say that openly. I've never called a Man United squad bottlers. This squad are a bunch of bottlers. They're bottlers. They did it to Tottenham last season. And I go from the captain, I'll go all the way down. A bunch of bottlers. When the going gets tough, they go hiding. That is what they are at the end of the day. So when I'm looking at Mbumo and Cunha coming in the past, I would have been enthusiastic and say, yeah, this is going to be a revolutionary couple of signings. They're going to change Man United's dynamic. It's going to be brilliant. But then I think about as the midfield, as people have mentioned. I think about the goalkeeper, as people have mentioned. I think about the right wing back, people have mentioned. And I think about players that have been there. Some of them have been there since the Louis van Gaal days. And I'm like, oh my goodness, man. I'm stressing myself out with it. I'm saying, you know what? I'm caught between a stone and a hard place. Do you know what I mean? I'm caught with, how can I trust these players? I want Man United to be successful. I want to go into next season positively. But you know what? these players don't fill me with confidence. Now, every time I write a TikTok video, every time I write something on social media, you've always got the prats. They've got no money. They're trying to fix the problems of the past. They're trying to fix the problems of the past. Listen to yourself speak. You might as well write Glazonomics across your shirt. They've got money. They manipulated you. This is what billionaires do. They manipulate. Welcome to the real world. Billionaires manipulate. They've got no money. They're trying to fix the problems of the last few years. Blah, de blah, z blah. At the end of the day, they decided to take the vanity project. They decided to take a minority stake. They decided to get in the way of a full buyout by going to bed with the Glazers. Nobody else, just you. Just you. You. No, just you. Absolutely. The Ineos did that. It was Ineos who did that. No one else did that. You did that. So I don't want to hear nothing about, we got no money. They're trying to fix the problems of the past. I don't want to know about being broke, because at the end of the day, people were telling me we can't sack Erik ten Hag because we're broke. We can't afford to appoint Ruben Amorim because we're broke. He's blah, blah. Liar, pants on fire. That's what Man United. Liar, pants on fire FC. Might as well be, isn't it, at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, this is what billionaires do. They manipulate, they will fire people, they will sack people to give you the illusion that they've got no money. This is what billionaires do. They will do that just to twist it, just to manipulate you, to illusionize, whatever word that is, your thoughts, to thinking that subliminally that we've got no money. We've got no money. They've got money. Jim Ratcliffe was going to purchase Chelsea for $5 billion. $5 billion. I'm like Booker T. $5 billion. They were going to purchase Manchester United. He put $1 billion into Manchester United because that was part of the deal to get the 27% buyout. Of course, guys, well, percentage. And $5 billion. That makes $4 billion, doesn't it? Now it's $4 billion. What happened to that $4 billion? Where is that $4 billion? What's going on with that $4 billion? Why isn't that $4 billion being invested into the team? Because it hasn't. It hasn't been. You've been manipulated. You've been manipulated. You fell for the mank born and bred. Well, hey, off to work we go. Mank born and bred. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. Jim Ratcliffe don't like you. Jim Ratcliffe don't like poor folk. Jim Ratcliffe only likes rich people. This is how he comes across, guys. This is who he is. This mank born and bred, rags to riches story is a lie. Let me tell you something about the rags to riches story. I was in the music industry for 20 years. Loads of artists use this story, the rags to riches story. The rags to riches story. He came from nothing. He had nothing. He didn't have a pot to piss in. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. You know what I mean? When it's a lie, it just adds more edge to you. That's what they use it. And this is a typical billionaire excuse as well. Well, you know what? I came from nothing to be a billionaire. Of course you did. It's a bit like Will Smith's daughter saying that she got famous because, you know what? Her talent got her famous. Of course it didn't. Your dad got you famous. Stop talking crap at the end of the day. And this is exactly why people in our fan base need to stop looking at, you know what, the sinister side of football, which I'm not going to mention today, but we all know what the sinister side of football is and the sinister side of the fan base. But they need to stop looking at that and look at the facts. Look at what's presented to them, because I have openly said to about Ineos. I've spoken about Ineos. I've spoken about a lot of them. And I said that, you know what, I'll back them. We ain't got the choice. I'll back them and let's see what they can do. At the moment, they have let us down. Can they retrieve it? They're going to have to make a minor miracle at the moment. Buying Mbumo, taking 50 days to buy Mbumo was absolutely ridiculous, right? So they're going to have to move on, of course. Absolutely. No media will talk about it, Kenny. No media will talk about it at all. Absolutely not. ESPN, the pundit started the Amorim agenda yesterday. They're all going to do it. ESPN are ready for it. They're ready for this. The ESPN talk crap, all that business. They're going to be ready for it. Don't worry about that. We will get these noises coming out of the media ways because they do not want what's best for Manchester United. Let me tell you something about ESPN FC and all those clowns there. As I've already spoken about Craig Burley, Steve Nichols, and that other Venezuelan pretend B team, you know what, any bloody South American, Division 3 player, whatever he was, talking about, was it Moreno, whatever his name is? Yeah, talking about Manchester United. They don't like Manchester United. Let me tell you that. They don't like Manchester United. They despise Manchester United. And if all Man United need to do is be successful, and you're going to see them stuttering and oohing and ahhing on their channel and making up something else. They'll make up something different. They make up another negative story. That's what they're going to do, guys. Unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with. So it's important for Manchester United fans to get together, back the manager, understand the context, understand the culture at the football club at the moment, understand what the real problem is. Empty that stadium, go in a stadium, scan your season ticket. I've had a season ticket, you scan it and walk out. At least you're registered to going into the ground. But they don't want to do that, do they? Even though it's a blessing. Big up, Ellen. We need to stay united. Unfortunately, this is it. Ironically, Manchester United are called Manchester United. We're the most ununited fan base in the world. And unfortunately, we got people who cause division, who want to cause division. By being united, it means backing your manager right now, because at the end of the day, the evidence is there, glaring in your face. Glaring in the face, glaring in your face. It is right there. Like, you can tell, you can see the problems at Man United, but people are refusing to see it. I can't see it. You know what I mean? They're refusing to see it. That's what they're doing. And this is the problem within the section of the fan base. As soon as that thing came out, even a baby would have said, oh, here we go. You know what? Suffered. There we go. There's the word. There's the key word. So what they're going to do eventually, right? Ruben Amorim is going to be going from telling the truth, right, to, you know what, just making up a bunch of rubbish like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did and talking positively. Oh, the guys, the lads, Rashi, and all this business. Do you know what I mean? Kenny, the same fan base were louding up Ragnick when he opened heart surgery. Absolutely, mate. Jose Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, Jurgen Klopp have all mentioned suffering. These managers have all done the same thing, but they were not scrutinized like this. They were not. These guys hate Manchester United, and I want to stress this wholeheartedly. They hate Manchester United. They don't like Man United fans, so don't fall for their narrative. Don't fall for it, because that is what they want. They totally took what he said out of context. Of course they would. When he was talking about as a whole, the team don't unite. They're talking about that. He was talking about that as a unit. Manchester United as a unit. Manchester United as a team at the end of the day. Steph, media mischief making can't people see the divide and conquer sells and clicks. Only shoots and don't speak to them. But he has to. Sadly, he has to, Stephanie. Yes, he's contractually obliged to speak to them. This is why I was saying that, he's contractually obliged, as every manager is, to do press conferences, because that's part of the media contract, of course. So one thing he shouldn't do, and I would say this, is do these extra bits on the side. Unless he's being forced by Ineos, whoever it is, to do these interviews, because it might make them a bit of skrilla. Maybe he should just stop doing these interviews on the side, these extra little bits, these extra bits of, these appetizers that he keeps doing in regards to these interviews. Maybe he needs to step away from that and move away from these interviews. And if he can do that, then, it'd be better for him, because English is not his first language. Let's not forget that as well, right? And people are always going to twist it. Always going to twist it. And especially with Manchester United, they will make you into the villain. And as you said there, Stephanie, divide and conquer, a perfect media tactic that they've been doing in politics, that they do in sport, that they do everywhere. Divide and conquer. That is what it is. When you got unity, they can't beat us. They can't beat us. Unfortunately, people with big platforms, big mouths, and small brains. And that's what's happening right here. They don't look at it for what it is. They don't look at the context, and they just splurt out garbage. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And people listen to it, which is absolutely sad, of course, guys. Absolutely. Natty, instead of focus on the owners, they focus on the managers. Exactly. It's insanity. Let's sack another manager, shall we? Let's get Ruben Amorim out, and let's get another manager in. And they're not going to back him either. They're not going to back him either, are they? They're not going to back him too. So at the end of the day, it is insanity. You've been lied to. You've been lied to. The Ineos lied to you. Whoa, look, listen. Ineos lied to you. I'm going to be like this, Elvis Presley. Ineos lied to you. Listen, guys, look. They lied to you, right? And this is what it is, guys. They told fibbies, they told Pookie Pies, however you want to say it, they lied to you that they were going to back Ruben Amorim this summer. They're going to clean up the mess, quotation marks, clean up the mess. That's what they're going to do. That's why they didn't back him in January. We gave them the benefit of the doubt, didn't we? We gave them the benefit of the doubt. And here we are, live in living colour. We're right here. Nothing is going on. Same old at the end of the day. Liverpool are going like this. Arsenal are going like this. Chelsea are going like this. Man City are going like this. And here we are, guys, resting on our laurels. 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. That is what Manchester United are. That's the Man United cha-cha. As I said, 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. Let's do the beat. Dun, 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 dun. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. You know, at the end of the day, do the cha-cha. The Man United cha-cha. The Man United. Yeah, that is what it is at the end of the day. The Man United cha-cha. 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. 3 steps forward. Sing it with me. Come on. 3 steps forward. We got a bunch of people doing the same thing. You know what I mean? All of them. We got all of them. We got all those content creators all everywhere doing the same bloody thing. We see them if they can move that quickly. Big up everyone. Of course, Karina. Well said, Sal. Totally agree. Get it right on the pitch first. Absolutely, Karina. Get it right on the pitch. I don't care, as I always said, if we play on a park down the road. I don't care. As long as Manchester United are successful, that is all I care about. I don't care about the little shiny new stadium with the padded seats. I don't care. And you just click a button and it all warms up. It makes you feel all fuzzy. I don't care about that, guys. I don't give a damn about that. And look what's happening now. Look, lo and behold, what is he doing? He's doing an NHS style, not an NHS style. It might as well be, because we're going to be taken to hospital very soon, the way things are going. Listen, he's doing an NFL style season ticket regime, where basically you still have to put a deposit on a season ticket and to reserve your seat. To reserve your seat, you still need to put a deposit on the season ticket and pay for your season ticket. So you've got to pay about $4,000 to keep your seat. And then, you know, when at the end of the season, you still have to pay money for your season. They're absolutely crazy. And people fell for this. Claudio, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Claudio Freitas. Hope you're well. Amazing coach, but no backup from the club. Shame. Even the best coach in the world couldn't be better with this match. Absolutely, Claudio. There you go. Live in living colour. Great comment right there. Exactly what I'm talking about. You can get whoever you want. You can get your Jurgen Klopps, your Pep Guardiolas, your Carlo Ancelottis. You can get them to come to Man United right now. Great managers are fouled, you know. Great man. You don't think Jose Mourinho at that period wasn't a great manager? You don't think that? You know, at the end of the day, great managers are fouled at this football club. Anyone's going to foul under this ownership. Unfortunately, when we had a chance that we could have been bought out and we could have got the Glazers out and we could have had a full sale, this idiot, you know what I mean, with his packed lunchbox and his Primark bloody jacket, no offense to Primark, great T-shirts, and his jacket, basically, have come and saved the Glazers. Like I said, Qatar, or whoever wanted to take charge of the football club in full, right? Whoever wanted to change the foot, guys, listen, I've got a video being uploaded, right? Later on. I think I might upload it later or that, but it's going to be my blog of my travels over this last 24 hours. I've traveled, guys. I've been around. I've been to Austria. I've been to, obviously, Italy. I've been to Qatar. I've been everywhere over this last 24 hours. And what you're going to see, I'm going to show you something about Qatar that you're going to be like, wow, wow, wow. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So carrying on, Qatar were the life support machine. They plugged Man United into this life support machine. And Jim Ratcliffe has come along, taken that life support machine out and plugged it into the Glazers. And, you know, at the end of the day, and he loves to plug things into the Glazers, as I hear, apparently. That's why he goes to bed with them. But what I would say, he plugged it into the Glazers and they saved the Glazers. He saved them. He saved them. You know what I mean? And that is what happened. And that you can't sugarcoat that any other way. At the end of the day, we are a bloody jam donut. You can't sugar a jam donut any other way. It's just a jam donut with sugar on it. You know what I mean? Danny B. We just have to be behind regardless of the season. Basically, the same squad he has from Marcio, Psycho, and Pete. Absolutely, Danny B. And Danny B, we've been sitting here for months, haven't we, mate? We've been sitting here for months talking about Man United should go after that player in South America. Man United should go in Brazil and scout. Man United should go to Argentina and scout. Man United should go to Chile and scout. Hell, we should go to South Korea and Japan to scout. But we won't do that. We won't do that because at the end of the day, they really and truly do not want to sign players. They don't want to know. They don't want to sign players. They don't care about Man United being successful on the pitch. Let's be real here. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. They don't care about Man United being successful. Absolutely not. All they care about is dragging the time on, spending as minimum as possible so they can get that regeneration project. Their life depends on this regeneration project. That is what it's all about. That is their bread and butter. They get that, they've got it. They've got it because they're in line to make a lot of money, guys. Absolutely. Natty, is there any truth about Anthony? So there's a little bit of truth. Apparently, news coming out is that Anthony is interested in going to Saudi Arabia. Now, look, you know what? This is just rumors at the moment. But Manchester United did say that Manchester United are not going to sell cheaply. Now, I get on to the brutal Ruben Amorim sparks fury. Okay, so the decision of Ruben Amorim to come out and say that no player will leave for a cheap price and no one is going anywhere until you pay the money for those players, one of which is Anthony. Of course, last week I reported that Manchester United have raised the price of Anthony to 50 million euros. Now, that is fair enough to me because considering what Anthony did last season, okay, he should be 50 million plus. Right? We shouldn't be selling Garnacho for 45 million. What the hell are we talking about? When you got Gittins and players of that, Madueke going for more than Garnacho. How does that make sense when Garnacho has achieved more in football than them? How does that even make sense? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense, does it, at the end of the day? So Ruben Amorim has been brutal with it, and he has said that he will not let anyone go at a discount price. If teams want our players, they're going to have to pay up. And that is his warning. This is sparked fury, as with the, you know what, the suffering quote that has been spread out. This is sparked fury. But you know what? Who cares what they think? Because at the end of the day, you know what? We are our own worst enemy sometimes. We are. Because there are sections of this fan base who just don't get it. They've been told time and time again, evidence has been supplied to them, you know, that you can go back. If you can get O.J. Simpson's lawyer, you know, it will be plain to see. He won't be able to get out of this one. It's not the manager. It's not the manager. It's the ownership. It's the way we run. It's the culture at the football club, and it's the players, right? The players, it's not always their fault, right? Let me tell you that right now. The problem is they're coming into a cultural disaster class. They're coming into a club that is toxic. They're coming to a club that is demanding. They're coming to a club that has distinctively a lack of success over the years. The biggest club in the world. They're coming to a club who is the biggest club in the world, achieving the less. We're probably the biggest club in the world who are achieving the most minimum in the world. So pound for pound, we are the worst club in the world because the way we're going. Pound for pound, we were the worst team in the Premier League last season. Pound for pound. You may say, oh, yeah, but we didn't get relegated. No, it's not about that. Southampton, Ipswich, and those kind of teams don't have the facilities, don't have the finances that Manchester United had. So pound for pound, Man United are the worst football team in England. It hurts. It hurts. You know? Can they fix it? Of course they can fix it, but they're going to have to put the money where their mouth is. But are they going to do that? I highly doubt it at this time. Rasta Stocks, good morning, good evening. How you doing? Loser Paul, losers and music to my ears. I'm happy and full of energy. Big up, Rasta. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, mate. Stay cool, my friend. Good to see. Sal, what is the problem of the team mentality or ability? A bit of both, Natty. Look, at the end of the day, look, I told people before, you know, Everton, Southampton, and teams like that. It's not necessarily the fact that they have no talent, right? It's a mentality. And the mentality comes from the football club. Winning comes from the football club. It's not necessarily that, you know, he's a better player than him. Yeah, look, obviously they got more money. They can buy certain players in certain positions. They're better, but it's not always about that. Most of it's to do with mentality. Everton, Southampton, Tottenham, you know, these kind of teams, right? Culture is not to win trophies, right? Man United are starting to go towards that direction. We're starting to go into the mold of Everton, where it's okay not to win trophies. It's okay not to win trophies. A lot of those players in our football team don't have the mentality. They may have the ability, but don't have the mentality. Sir Alex Ferguson was the king at spotting players who don't have mentality. Hence the reason he would get to know the player before he signed the player, get to meet the family, take him out for dinner, get to know him personally, his hobbies. You know what? Is he married? You know, well, what does he like doing in his spare time? What do he like to eat? Those sort of things. Getting to know someone's mentality. What is your aim in football? What do you want in football? What do you want to succeed? Do you want to be a successful Man United player? Can I rely on you to be Manchester United's next golden boy? Can I rely on you to go into next season and score 30 goals for me? Can he look at any one of those players in the eye? Can he get Ruben? Can he get Rasmus Højlund, look at him in the eye and say, can I rely on you next season to get me 30 goals next season? Can I rely on you for that? Are you going to get me 30 goals next season? Yes or no? Right? And that is what it should be. Bruno, are you going to stay in your position? Are you going to be disciplined in your position? Are you going to stop doing hero balls and shooting for 50 yards and going miles over the Stretford end? Are you going to stop doing that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And this is getting to know the player's mentality. Can they do it? Can they do it? Show me you can do it. Stop talking about it behind the shadows. Stop doing that and tell us, are you going to go out there and score some goals next season? Now, most of these players have had a lot of failure in their careers already. Bruno's lost a couple of Europa League finals, won some, granted, FA Cup final here, League Cup final here, but that is okay. That's all right, because at the end of the day, Wigan can win an FA Cup. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace proved last season they can win an FA Cup. It happens sometimes, doesn't it? You know, you can win cups. But can these players who've never challenged for a league title, by the way, I know they came second, but coming 30 points behind the first place is not a challenge. Right? At the end of the day, can you mount a serious challenge? Can you do it? Can you show us that you've got the mentality to mount a serious challenge? Now, a lot of these players have decades of failure in their heads, right? A decade of failure, right? You even look at the likes of Bruno, who's been there since what, 2017? It's 8 years, guys. 8, 9 years. It's getting up to a decade he's been at Man United as well. You got to look at this. Do you know what I mean? And we got to look at that, and we understand that losing is contagious. You know, confidence, good confidence, bad confidence is all both contagious. That's what it's all about. Karina, Ruben is the man to take us forward. He needs support. If we get support, he will be back to the top in a few seasons. Karina, I really hope so. I really hope so. And I hope that he improves next season. I hope ultimately he's given the time. And most importantly, I hope that he's given the time. I hope that he's given the tools to do the job. That's what I hope. Big up, Karina, my friend. Good to see you again. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I hope you had a bit of sleep, brother. Fair play to you for doing another Chatterbox. Your devotion for the channel is something else. Please, everyone, special like. Thank you so much, Grayo. I'm going to give you a fit. I left yesterday. I left Italy yesterday in the morning at 5 a.m. because my flight was at 9:50. So I had to check in and do all that business. All right. Flew off to Austria. Yeah, and spent how long in Austria? 4 hours in Austria. So I arrived in Austria about, 11 something. And then I ended up spending 4 hours in Austria. Then I had to wait for my flight to Doha. I took a flight to Doha, arrived in Doha at 2. What time did I arrive in Doha? It was about 11 p.m., 12 p.m. My flight back to Abu Dhabi was 2:15 a.m. I didn't reach home. I didn't reach base until 6 a.m. I went to bed. I put my head down, woke up, had a shower on the stream. Here we go. Looked at the news, looked at my texts, looked at and everything, and then thought, here we go. We're ready to go. Dedication, guys. Thank you so much, Gray. I'm glad you noticed it. But I've got a blog coming up, guys, so don't miss that, of course. And make sure you show support, guys. Absolutely. Thank you. Rasta. Can't trust any of these players, mate. No. Fool me once, fool me twice. You know what I mean? As they say, you know, and, I'm the idiot if you fool me again, because nobody is going to fool me. Those players are not fooling me now. Those players are never going to fool me. The only ones that I trust are the young players in there. Aiden Heaven, Lenny Yoro, maybe a Mazrui I trust, and maybe an Ahmad I trust. Maybe there's a few players in there I trust, but a lot of those players I don't trust anymore. The trust is gone. After that Tottenham game, where they made all that hype, all that PR for that Tottenham game, you know, to dish out some shithousery like that was ridiculous. Absolutely. Big up, Danny B. Sure, with the back passes incoming. Now, why, guys? I want to ask you the question, guys. I think this is very important to come in. Why was Luke Shaw mentioned in the press conference, guys? Why was he mentioned in the press conference? What has Luke Shaw got to do with anything right now, apart from being a cripple? What has anything got to do with Luke Shaw? I don't give a damn what happens to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, world class. Does he have any of his PR guys? Is his PR guys out there? Are these PR guys the ones that, you know what, are asking the questions? It does seem that way, doesn't it, at the end of the day? Really does, of course. Kenny, I'm sick of hearing our own face rival fans saying we are broke, then the heck, there are no money issue when we kept Bruno. Kenny, I'm sick and tired of it as well. And we all know why they're saying that, Kenny, because they want to make excuses for Ineos. That's what they want to do. So what they're doing, they're falling for the Ineos narrative. They've got no money. Then don't buy the football club. It's simple as that. Don't go anywhere near the football club because you facilitated the Glazers. And anyone who supports this are a sympathizer to the Glazers. Disgrace. You might as well take off that Man United shirt and put on a Liverpool shirt because you know what? I tell you what, that's what you are. Traitors to this great football club. You know, and I would say that to anyone, that at the end of the day, the lies that have been manipulated. Now, guys, what's happened to the Jassim Al-Thani? What's happened to the news that he was a fake AI? What happened to that? Please tell me what happened to that. I want to know what's going on with that fake AI story. Because apparently he was at the World Club final, wasn't he? Apparently, unless that's an AI as well. I mean, come on. The lies that have been blurred, manipulated in regards to Qatar, in regards to full Sal were absolutely unforgivable. Because that got in the way of a full sale. That got in the way of the Glazers out, debt cleared. That would have helped with PSR and FFP. I spent a few hours obviously in Doha last night, in the early hours of the morning. And you look at the infrastructure. You look at people from all around the world taking pictures with the sculptures and the artists, the great artists that designed the airport and the sculptures. And you look at that and you're thinking, yeah, human rights. Really. You know what I mean? And you're thinking yourself just to think that, you know what, they blamed human rights and stuff and, sort of virtual signaling and all that crap, all that malarkey that they were talking about. Absolute clowns. I'm sorry. Absolute clowns and a disgrace to this football club. They all are, because they're the ones that facilitated the Glazers. Absolutely. Natty, we have a chance to make a statement in the first game of the season, do something to this owners. We cannot lose anything. Natty, look, you know what? The great thing about it is that football is the great equalizer, as I've always said. You can make something happen out of nothing. Man United can beat Arsenal. We've proven we could beat Arsenal in the past. We've proven that we can go to the Emirates, go toe-to-toe with Arsenal and beat Arsenal with 10 men. We've proven we can do that. The problem with Man United, and this is to do with mentality again, is that they may beat Arsenal, but then they go to Fulham and lose. Then they play Burnley and draw. That is what this Man United team do many, many times. We did it last season, didn't we? When we beat Arsenal, we did it last season. That's the only concern for me. Now, if Man United go and beat Arsenal, and then we beat Fulham, and then we beat Burnley, setting us up nicely for the Man City game away, nice. Because if we can win those 3 games, we can afford a draw here and there. We can afford to draw against City away. We can afford to, maybe draw against Chelsea. But imagine we win 4 out of 5 and draw 1. That'd be fantastic. And we'll start being more confident. But these players have not given us any reason to be confident, not given us any ammunition to our positivity. All they've given is ammunition to pessimistic people. And that is what it is. Big up LT, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. If we get another game like the Leeds game, then we should just accept that this is just a PR campaign and these players are not trying to be cohesive and consistent, which is an actual goal. Look, I do believe there's an element of truth in this. I wouldn't paint it with everyone with the same brush. I think that Cunha and Mbeumo are going to try to work in this system. I do think there are some players, however, that are refusing to work in the system, but are pretending to work in the system, that are manipulating. Again, don't want to work in the system, because in this system, right? In this system, there's a lot of running. You have to be very fit. You have to be. There's a lot of things there's a lot of tracking back, tackling, pressing, and some of these players just can't do it. They just can't do it. They try, but they can't do it. Big up LT again, as usual. How fans of all of a sudden the players do magic and perform to be in the Champions League? At the end of the day, Man United need to really, really push it next season. I'm telling you right now, we can't afford to not qualify for the Champions League. Whilst Liverpool around, Arsenal around, Chelsea around, Man City around, they get 100 million, 100 million, 100 million from the Champions League. We can't afford to be in the Champions League, which begs the question, doesn't it? That if the Champions League is so important and so financially rewarding, why are we not spending money now? And don't give me that PSR, FFB bull crap. Take the risk, take the hit, invest in the team. Because I know they can. I know they got the money. I know we make more money than anyone else. I know that our books are pretty good, but they're trying to cover that up. LT. Amorim sounded like a manager who needs to be backed with signings because he is not really convinced with the current squad. Centre midfield, striker and goalkeeper being critical because he needs his own spinal team. Exactly there, LT. It's another reason why he said suffer. Because there are players in this team that are making us suffer. We are suffering. Because these players are not good enough and they're going to make us suffer. And the key is that a lot of those players are not Ruben Amorim players. They're not his players. Now, if these were like all his players, 8 or 9 of these players, you can't argue it's his players. Then you say, well, fair enough. You know what I mean? He's got his players in there. What are you talking about? But none of those players are his. Mbeumo, Cunha are his players and he's just started, right? Dorgu was already agreed a year ago. Let me tell you that right now. Had nothing to do with him. He just co-signed it. That was it. 2 players are his players. Now he's had to deal with the Rashford situation, the Sancho situation, the Garnacho situation, the Anthony situation, the Maguire situation. He has had to deal and inherit all these problems. It's crazy. Natty. The majority of the managers are not the problem. The owners are the biggest problem. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, look, I give you an example, right? I give an example last season. You give these players a mini inch, a tiny, tiny minuscule of a centimeter that they can down tool because they don't need to win, because they need to concentrate on the Europa League win. They will lose. They will lose. They won't fight and say, no, that's not our mentality. We need to move up that table and we need to win games. Let's get to a respectable position, guys. They will lose. Now, seldom that comes from the captain, that comes from all these players. It comes from that at Man United. When they're given a minuscule of a chance that they can down tool, they will take it with both hands and they will down tool. And that is where the mentality comes, isn't it? Claudio, if Amorim went for any other team instead of us, we were sure, but unfortunately, our club have horrible owners. Claudio, now let me give you an example, Claudio. If Ruben Amorim took charge of Liverpool, he'll win the league last season, just like Arne Slot. If Ruben Amorim took charge of Real Madrid, he'll win the league with Real Madrid. He's at a toxic mess of Manchester United, and I bet you, right, if anyone went up to Ruben Amorim and asked him his honest, most sincerest opinion, do you regret taking a Man United job? Do you think he's going to say yes or no? Gion, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hey, chat, I have seriously lowered my expectations for the coming season because other than the two, it's the same players we had last season. Absolutely. But what I would say to you, Gion, we should not let Ineos get away with this. We should not lower our expectations. We should not. We should say this, right? Man United should always aim for top 4 championship challenging. But we know that it's unrealistic. We know it's unrealistic. We're not delusional. We know it's unrealistic at the moment. But the overall expectations of Manchester United should be challenging for the league. That is what it should be. That is what Ineos should aim for. And not in 5 years' time. Now. Now, we are the Real Madrid, the Barcelona, the Bayern Munich of England. Right, so why are we waiting to 2028? You should be trying to do it now. Try to do it. Whether we achieve it is another story. That should be your aim now. Your aim should be challenging for the league. That is what Manchester United should be doing. Manchester United shouldn't be doing like, I'll be happy with 8th, It shouldn't be like that, guys. It shouldn't be that at Man United because when we do that, the Glazers love it. The Glazers love it. Ineos love it, because they're going to look at you and say, right, don't you spend much money then. Their expectations is 8th. So let's keep it, lower. We don't need to buy any of these great players that they need. Look, they only expect 8. So what we can do, as long as we come 8th for a few seasons, we're gonna solidify that regeneration project, and we're gonna get the stadium, we're gonna get the infrastructure, etc. This is what they do. This is what they do. But what Man United fans should do, no matter if we are number 10 team, a number 8 team, a number 6 team, Man United's expectations should still be there. We are going below our expectations, below the top 4, even below the top 2 when I was younger, guys. Top 1. So what's happening here? We should hold them accountable. We should hold them responsible for what is going on right now. Big up, Gio, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Stephen, if United go to the new season with no striker, we're in big trouble. Stephen, I'm hearing news coming out that Man United are going to play Xerxes. Man United are going to adopt Cunha as a striker, number 9. And then I'm thinking, my goodness me, we're going to shoehorn players in again. We're going to do the same thing that we do over and over again. Let's shoehorn this player into that position. Let's shoehorn that player into that position. Here we go again. Why don't we just buy a striker? A competent one. Why do we do that? I don't know. Shah, you're all talk about United, but you can't perform until now. Just waste time, mate. Shah, Pratt, I think that's your name. Just so to waste time and only this club useless. Your grammar is useless, Shah. Your grammar is absolutely atrocious. You know what I mean? I think you need a little bit of more grammar in your life. Maybe you were able to spell and stuff like that. But then again, if you were born by a bunch of dummies, who probably slept with a donkey, at the end of the day, you're going to be spitting this garbage like you always have, mate. So at the end of the day, if you want to come on my channel again, Shah, whoever you are, Shah, then at least spit a little bit of common sense, at least spell right and make sure we can read it. You get me? Comprende? Yeah? You get it? Tika? Is that good? Wicked. Take it easy. All right. Yes. There. Let me just get rid of that Pratt and let's go on. Right. Coco. Even the mic has something to say about Glinios. Yeah. Trust me, mate. I mean, I got attacked by the. I mean, they want to say. Yeah, exactly, Coco. He wants to say something about Glinios right now. No, let me speak. Let me speak. Big up. Hey, Samuel. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. The Glazers should sell Manchester United to £18 billion. Absolutely, Samuel. That's what we all want. That would be a dream come true, of course. But I doubt it's going to happen, of course. Absolutely not. It's useless having football people on the football side of things when the owners are still meddling in what needs to be done to build a squad to be competitive and eventually challenge for titles. And this is exactly why, if Jim Ratcliffe was Manc born and bred, Manchester United fan his whole life, which he is not, I've said it a million times, he would not have got in the way of a full sale. He would have understood what Manchester United need. He would have understood the levels that we need to be at, what Liverpool are doing at the moment, what Arsenal are doing at the moment. He would have understood that. He would have understood the frustration, the pain from the Man United fans. He would have understood that. But unfortunately, he doesn't care about the club. He cares about his pockets. Absolutely. Gion, wonder why Ineos bought in Xerxes for so much money if our need for a gunman is so dire. For me, they seem to be making more mistakes than when we only had the Glazers either. I mean, I think what happened initially, Gion, is that in the summer of January, in last summer, right, a year ago, when we signed Xerxes and all these players and we overpaid and whatever happened, I like Xerxes. And Xerxes is a good squad player, okay? He's a good player. He's good to have in a squad. I'm glad we got him anyway now. Right, even though I wouldn't have made that choice then. But the fact that we've always needed, as you said, Gion, the fact that we've always needed a striker, we've always needed a gunman, it shows incompetence again, doesn't it? It shows that their priorities are in the wrong place, And this is, again, another mistake, and they've made loads of mistakes. They have made endless amounts of mistakes at this football club. They are partly responsible for what happened last season, the 15th place and stuff like that, losing to Tottenham. I believe they're responsible for the way we lost to Tottenham in the final of the Europa League. I believe it's a big part of it is them, because they didn't back Ruben Amorim in January when we were crying out for an attacker. We needed a striker to score goals. We actually predicted the Europa League final result. We said Tottenham will score 1-0 and won't be able to score, and we lose the Europa League. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Mark, how you doing? Boiled them. West Ham 0, boiled them 5. Big up, Mark. Man United are going to win tonight anyway. Malik Fofana to Everton, another player. Look, snooze you lose. Kenny, even West Ham are doing business in this market. Even West Ham. Player like Malik Fofana. Unbelievable, isn't it? A player we want. Amorim will negotiate better than so-called Alma Barada and Jason Wilcox. At the end of the day, one thing I was saying, Natty, is that whilst you're owned by the Glazers, and as I said, the middleman, so basically what will happen is Barada and Wilcox will be speaking to the likes of Brentford. Brentford will give a price. Barada and Wilcox will speak to Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe will speak to Joel Glazer. Joel Glazer will speak to Avram Glazer. Avram Glazer will speak to his Glazer entourage, the family and all that. And that is the biggest problem, whether it is Ruben Amorim, whether it is this, is that. But then I look at things, and I look at things in a way objectively where are we better off with Ineos? Have they made things better? Because at the end of the day, I'm seeing a lot of lies. I'm seeing a lot of manipulation tactics in regards to Man United, got no money. We messed up over the last few years. Ineos are trying to tidy up the mess. But if there's one small little positive, and I don't like mentioning any positives about the Glazers, if there's one thing that they did, whether good or bad, they spent money. They spent money. Big up George Best 007. How you doing? Thank you so much, mate. Hope you're doing well. It's an old shirt now. I've had it for quite a while. It's quite a classic shirt on here. Big up Jamie. Good to see you, mate. The manager is losing the plot. Jamie, he's not losing the plot. I think people need to understand the context, Jamie, what he said. I think it's losing the plot to not understand what he's saying. That is losing the plot. Guys, losing the plot basically means he's lost it. He's not. He's telling you the truth there. You just need to read between the lines, Jamie. Read what he's actually saying to you. He's saying to you that this team mentality is not good enough. And if this team mentality is not good enough, we're going to suffer. That's a fact, right? The team's not good enough. That's a fact. He's telling you that the Glazers have not backed him. He's basically telling you that. Absolutely. Big up, Sal, mate. You look okay, ready for the new season. Yeah, hot Man United this season. Big up, Adam Partridge. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Hope it is better than last season, mate. I really do, of course. You think Man United will get more players in, Sal, mate? Adam, I think Man United will be lucky to get one more player in at this rate. And I'm talking about right now, where we are right now, guys. I'm talking about now, here and now. Man United, we'll be extremely lucky if we enter the season next season enthusiastically. I'll be extremely surprised. That's what I would say. Hope Man United don't sack Ruben Amorim in the new season. So they won't, mate. They'll be absolutely ridiculous if they did that, because they'll be, you know what I mean? The fans will know what's going on. Lorik, maybe because there is rumors that he's going to leave. Who's that? Who's that you're talking about? I don't think there's any rumors that Ruben Amorim's going to leave. Hi, Sal. What have we missed? Can you give me a short roundup of what is going first? We're just talking about Bill. Bill, rewatch the show, Bill. I've talked about a lot on this show so far. We're just talking about Ruben Amorim, people turning against Ruben Amorim in regards to his quotes that are read out of context in regards to what he said, and not understanding, reading in between the lines and understanding what he tried to say in regards to not being backed and not having a team, and you know what, the squad not being united, which will contribute in us suffering. So basically, people are saying just getting that word suffer, and they're using it as a highlight reel. Do you know what I mean, of what he said? Absolutely. You know basically what it is. Can I tell you what Man United are? Every single time Ruben Amorim goes into a press conference, it's basically like Instagram. It's like Instagram. They create a highlight reel. So basically, you know, Instagram's all about people. Look at me, look at my life. I'm so fantastic. Look where I am. Look at me on the beach. Look at me here. Look at me there. You know? And this is basically what it is. Every time Ruben Amorim walks into that press conference, there we are, the highlight reel. But not a highlight reel in a good way. Let's do a highlight reel of all the bad things that Ruben Amorim apparently said, and let's twist it. And that's what it is at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Bear me a second. I'm back. Right. Spurs are currently 0-0 Luton Town. Yeah. I think it's just a friendly anyway. I got the highlights of Spurs and Wickham 2-2. Spurs were at Leyton Orient the other day. Yeah, big up. Yeah, they lost. There you go, Bella Ceres. Nice little comment there. Liverpool 2, AC Milan 4. Big up. Sal, how is there no punishment for finishing 15th? Why all the players are still here? Because the manager and the owner, not the manager, the owners still see the players as assets. No one wants these players. No one wants to pay the money for these players. The people see through these players and what they are. Miles, good morning, good evening, Miles. By the way, how you doing? We are a Ferrari without the engine. Thanks to our owners. God bless you, Sal, brother. Peace go to hear you again. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, Miles. It's good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you again, of course. Sal, it sounds like we have a set to defeat of this season for even started. That's not even Man United. I agree, mate. But what's the reason for this, Bill? What's the reason for this? We all know what the reason is, don't we? We all know where it's coming from, don't we? As I said, people could give their predictions about the season. People could say, oh, well, you know what? I'd be happy with 8th, you know. But no, Man United should never be happy with 8th. And this is the lowering of expectations, giving up every single season, throwing season after season away. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting old. I don't want to throw any more seasons away. I don't want to throw any more seasons away. You know what? Life's too short to be throwing season after season away. Absolutely, Bill. Big up, Bill. Big up, Darren. How you doing, my friend? How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Wayne Rooney has said that he will come back to play this season. Help Man United up fight. Oh, come on. Mate, he needs to look after himself. He's looking a bit chunky at the moment. I'm having more, I'm saying it in a loving way, by the way, guys, just before anyone jumps on me. I think he should look after himself. I have more and more doubts about Wilcox. He's rise to power, worrying, and I bet he is on the phone to Jim Atkins every 5 minutes. Bill, what I would say, probably, yeah, probably. A lot of lovey-dovey, you know what, backside kissing stuff going on, definitely. Absolutely. RDZ, I saw some fans being xenophobic and racist when we were linked with Sheikh Jassim. Now we have a guy running a club that is cosplaying as United fan. Ratcliffe only cares about money. RDZ, if I speak, I'll be in trouble. I've said this openly on Twitter, on everywhere. It's 2025, right? And we still got these people in the fan base. And I did say it. The only reason they didn't want Qatar was not because of human rights, oil money, none of that business at the end of the day. Oil's important anyway. What's wrong with having oil? We've got a royal family that used to chop people's heads off in the street. That's what we've got. So what do you want to talk about at the end of the day? Let's not for stealing a loaf of bread, apparently. Let's not talk about that. But what it is, right? It is a lot of sinister things that go on in this football club. A lot of sinister things. And there are sections that are. There are. Unfortunately, as sad as it is, as much as we don't want it to be, there is. And it goes from all angles. We got people xenophobic against British players. We got people xenophobic against Arabs. We got people xenophobic against, you know, Caribbean, African people. And that is unfortunately racist and xenophobic. And that's unfortunate. That still goes on our football club. But in regards to Qatar, you said it right there, mate. You're absolutely spot on. It's exactly what it was. They can't turn around and start telling me, you know what, no, it's all about human rights. When something else happens in the Middle East or something's going on really bad, and they like this, I don't want to see this. Oh, Qatar, what? Oh, don't want to see this. Like I said, last night I was in Qatar. I was in the airport of Qatar, and I was amazed by the airport. It's literally a holiday destination where you are. You don't need to even exit the airport. And there are people taking pictures of sculptures created by famous artists and things like that. I think this is incredible. It's a big lie, guys. And people fell for it because it's Jim Ratcliffe, the Manc born and bred guy who cannot prove he's a Man United fan. Not one picture in 77 years. Not one picture in 77 years. All that lie, all that crap. We're not falling for it. Well, I didn't anyway. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on that note. Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. I will be back, of course, tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, guys. I will let you know about the football. Keep your notifications on in regards to the friendly tonight, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it. I need a lot of persuasion, because you know what? I didn't sleep last night. And to be honest with you, 3 o'clock in the morning kickoff where I am, 3 o'clock in the morning kickoff. So look, anyway, guys, keep your notifications on anyway, and keep supporting the channel, keep smashing the likes. And thank you so much again, guys. Well on our way to 12,000 subscribers. Let's do this, guys. Let's get to 12,000 subscribers and let's keep moving forward, guys. But thank you, everyone who's joined me today, and the new guys as well. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe as well, guys. Absolutely. And we'll go from there. Look, you know what? Let's just see what happens, guys. Only way is up. Take it easy, guys. I'm Sal Warner, this Chatterbox. Take it easy. Peace.